going. Vamos a empezar y feliz lunes y buenos días a todos. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Están bien?
Bien, bien.
Muy bien.
Bien, ok, fantástico. Bueno, vamos a empezar. Vamos a practicar con dos cosas, tres cosas quizás. I normally don't like to split it up into these, but a couple of things bled into each other. What I want to start off with today, and I'll do a real quick explanation. Vamos a empezar con la práctica. We're going to start with the practice. I had asked you to do a little bit of practice with the ideas or the words we use in Spanish to say this idea, try. There are different verbs that are used in Spanish to say try, and it kind of depends on how the context of the context of why we're using the try idea, okay?
That video was very fast.
Okay, bien. Okay, entonces voy a explicar. To try. There are different verbs you may hear people use to say this. One is probar. It may even wind up being probarse, reflexive. Wow, ¿por qué? Okay, we'll take a look at that. And then we've got this verb, tratar de. And notice you used before tratarse. Se trata de, como por ejemplo, este libro se trata de información del español. Se trata de means to be about. But when we take away that se from tratarse and we just use tratar de, it becomes try. And of course, it's got to be tratar de infinitivo, tratar de with an infinitive, right? Y la tercera cosa es intentar. Intentar, we don't need a de. Intentar infinitivo. So, there are three different verbs you may hear people using to express this idea of try. Okay, so let's explain a little more. And this is complicated maybe a little bit by the fact that probar is a UE stem changer, just so you know, para que sepan, so you know. Probar also has a stem change. The O changes to a UE. Okay. Bueno, entonces, unos ejemplos, some examples before you maybe share your examples, because you may want to tweak the examples you've got. Yeah, once you get, you have to do something for a warm up, right? Okay. Probar by itself, probar is used a lot when we want to say we try out something. Like, ¿qué pasó? It's bumping me out of my keyboard. Okay. Like taste something. Okay. Try out or taste something. Okay. Por ejemplo. You say to somebody, try this appetizer. You've got to try out this appetizer, right? Prueba esta botana. Botana would be an appetizer, a little munchy thing that you have, right? Prueba esta botana. See? Es muy rica. Es muy rica. It's really super good, right? Es muy rica. Okay, so probar can mean to taste something, to try it out, to take a sample. Yeah. Bien. Okay. Probarse is more for when you try on, because you're putting it on your body. Yeah. So it goes back to that reflexive idea. You try on clothing. See? Sí. Puedes probarte esta camisa allá. You can try on this shirt over there. See? Okay. So probar means you're probably putting something in your mouth or putting something on your body to make sure that the fit is right. Yeah, because we say try on. Okay. So we've got that one kind of solved, right? Now, the other two, tratar de and intentar, are really interchangeable. We can use either one. They're synonyms, okay? But they're used not for try something out, but for to try to do something, okay? Meaning you're attempting to do something. Entonces, por ejemplo, trato de explicar to try en español, ¿ok? Bien, trato de explicar to try en español. Trato de explicar. We need this little odd word de. It really doesn't translate to anything, but in order to mean try to do something, this verb tratar just uses that little word de. So what does it mean to you? Nothing. Okay, it doesn't translate to anything. It's just that this verb needs to use that little preposition. That's what happens. Okay. I could also use intento. Intento explicar to try. Ahora, okay, intento explicar means the exact same thing. It doesn't need the little word de because that verb intentar doesn't need any kind of little preposition. Okay, so these last two are equivalent, son equivalentes, sí, son equivalentes. And you can use either one. It makes no difference which one you choose to use, but you do need to remember that to try to needs that little word de if we're using tratar. Okay. Okay. Muy bien. ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Any kind of question about that before we start with your little examples? No, nada. Does that make sense?
I do have a question about if you put I would like to try. Would you use intento to replace that? To replace that? Right?
Oh, yes. Okay. Technically, yes, for your purposes, do that. But if you want to get really technical, the I would like is this word here. Quisiera.
Quisiera.
Okay. That's not going to be obvious to you. Quisiera is a super, super polite word that they use when they want to insert the idea of I would like. Okay. But it is super polite. Entonces, por ejemplo, quisiera pagar con tarjeta. I would like to pay with a card. meaning I don't have cash, right? See?
Sí.
Quisiera pagar con tarjeta. And you ask the sales clerk here, if I can get my, ¿aceptan tarjetas aquí?
Okay.
Quisiera pagar con tarjeta. But quisiera intentar, you probably, it gets like excessively long. You know, I would like to try to, yeah. Yeah,
See.
it gets a little long for what you want to use. Okay, so do know that if whenever you want to use that word quisiera, you know, you could say quisiera intentar. Okay, por ejemplo, let's take paying with a credit card off. Something you're really trying to do. Quisiera tratar de esquiar. Let's say you're on vacation in Colorado. You're on vacation in Colorado. Yeah. Quisiera tratar de esquiar. I would like to try to ski, but now you're stringing together a bunch of verbs and that becomes complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say for now, it's a good thing for you to know that this word quisiera means I would like to. It's a good thing for you to know that quisiera pairs up with an infinitive, a verb that doesn't get conjugated, okay? And the quisiera means I would like in a super polite situation, okay? Bien. Does that answer your question, Lisa? See?
It
Kind of.
yeah, yes, it does. And I was just maybe in a little other context I was wondering too, but that's okay. It's really good what you said, you know.
Okay.
Helpful.
Okay. So what I'd ask you about to do to prep for today is to talk about what you are trying to do this week. You know, at the beginning of the week, and you may probably have a to-do list, right? And so I want you to use a yo form for that. And then maybe to talk about what someone else is trying to do, meaning you're going to have to use an él, ella, usted form. Yeah. Okay. So trying to do, you're not going to be using probar for that one, right? You can switch between or use either or of the tratar de or intentar, okay? For ejemplo, for an example, por ejemplo, trato de cortar las ramas, branches, las ramas de un árbol muy pequeño. Trato de cortar las ramas de un árbol muy pequeño en mi jardín. Bien. An example, if I don't talk about yo, trato de, but I talk about somebody else, I could say, mi esposo, and I'm going to use intentar now. Mi esposo intenta reparar su bicicleta. Intenta reparar su bicicleta. Okay, la diferencia, the difference is not much, except one is a yo and one is an él, ella, usted. Notice that tratar de is a regular verb. Trato, tratas, trata, tratamos, tratan. Bien, right? Intentar, regular, perfectly regular. Intento, intentas, intenta, intentamos, we're trying. Intentan, they're trying. So, trato de cortar. See, trato de cortar. I have to remember my de. But mi esposo intenta reparar. My husband is trying to fix. Bien?
Sí.
Okay, vale. I think we have a large enough group. I'd like to send you off to play with that a little bit, just that one thing, right? The yo and the talking about one other person. Quizás 5 minutos, maybe 5 minutes. Bien, bien. ¿Alguna pregunta antes de empezar? Any question on doing that before I send you off? And then we'll come back and see what you played around with and what ideas you had. See or no?
Marilyn, I have a question.
Sí, sí.
When I put this through Spanish dictionary, I got back for what someone else wants to do. I got mi hija intentará.
But that's future, and you don't need to use that. Intentará is a good verb form, but it means will try.
Okay,
Instead of is trying.
okay.
So one thing you should know about present tense, presente, which is just the intento, intentas, intenta, intentamos, intentan. Present tense, depending on the context of how your conversation is going, intento can mean I am trying right now. I do try. I try, like, as a general pattern, habit. It's also frequently used, present tense, to indicate very, very soon. Okay. There is a formal future tense in Spanish, which conversationally is not used as much in Latin America as, let's say, the ir a intentar. Okay, so if I really wanted to make it future, true future, well, not true future, but conversational future, mi hija, my daughter, mi hija va a intentar, is going to try, va a intentar manejar a Chandler. My daughter is going to try to drive to Chandler. But you don't really need to put that into va a intentar. You can just say intenta manejar. And that's going to mean she's trying to drive to Chandler. She's going to do that really, really soon. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sometimes when you plug this in, it'll plug in like a true future tense, and you don't really need that to just practice the verb form.
Okay.
¿Sí? Bien. Nora, otra pregunta.
Same thing.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
You answered it.
Okay. Bien. Remember, when you plug this stuff into a translator, often it's going to spit out some things that are more complicated than what you really need to do for a simple communication, but it's good that you asked that. Okay. A ver, I think I'm going to try to put you into groups of about 3. Quizá. Vamos a ver. Boom, 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 boom. Sí. Bien. Okay. I'm going to give you just 5 minutes because this is the one item, right? But it'll 5 minutes, 5 minutos. will give you enough time to bounce some ideas off each other, help guide each other along. When you come back, if you had any questions, problems, issues, we'll share some of those examples. Bien?
Yeah.
Just remember, tratar, when you use tratar, you need a little de. Intentar, you don't need the little de. That's it. Eso es. Okay? Vale, vamos a empezar. You can hit your join button. Y vamos a practicar 5 minutos. Y vamos a ver. Okay, we're going to call people back in just a minute here, in un minuto. Okay. Y bien, ¿cómo les fue? How did it go for you guys?
Necesitamos mucho tiempo.
Oh, más tiempo. You need more
Más
time. Wow, okay.
Wait, were
Okay.
we supposed to do all of them? All 5 of them?
No, just try that one. The
Okay,
somebody, I'm trying to do something and somebody else is trying to do something. So you
Okay.
practice 2 different forms. A
Oh,
yo
we got,
form
we
and an
got
a.
that done, yeah.
yeah, we
Okay.
did.
That's all I wanted you to do for now. Yeah. The only thing that you were supposed to be doing is the tratar or trato de or trata de, just that one. Somebody trying to do something, right? A yo form and a form to talk about somebody else. Okay. Algunos ejemplos, some of your examples or questions that you had that like a sample you wanted to do desperately, but it kind of flopped, whichever.
I'll just say that it was a little hazy from the same as the last part of the discussion before we went to the breakout rooms of kind of just using present tense versus some sort of future tense, you know. I try to, or I will try to, or, you know, and I guess we don't, other than using like me voy, I'm going to, which is pseudo future tense.
Just a yo. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just
That
a
can
little
convey
that's
near
hazy
future.
right now. Yeah.
That present tense can convey very near future. And that's why the way I had phrased it was trying to do this week, because that's coming up in the next few days, right? So when we're talking about that, just using that present tense works out fine. Okay. Algunos ejemplos, some examples? Any example? Bien.
Well, in that theme then, mi esposa intenta comprar un vestido para la boda de nos hija.
Ah, sí. Sí.
Excelente. Sí. Sí. My wife's trying to buy a dress. Fantástico. Bien. Otro ejemplo.
Trato de viajar con mi hermana Cordes Junction en martes.
Bien. El martes, on Tuesday. El martes. Bien. Sí. Perfecto. Otro ejemplo.
Trato de acabar 2 brazaletes de plato.
Ok.
I'm trying to finish
Bien.
the bracelets in
Sí.
silver.
Sí. Brazalete, sí, de plata. Yeah. Silver. Bien. Cindy.
Esta semana yo trato de registrar los estudiantes para votar.
Sí, muy bien. Muy bien.
You're trying to register students to fly? What do you, for what?
Votar,
Oh, to
vote.
vote, to
Votar.
vote.
Votar, volar.
Votar.
Volar. Volar es esto, sí. Votar, sí, votar.
I like
Bien.
Perfect,
Okay.
better.
Excelente, excelente. Muy bien, muy bien.
I'll try one.
You're rolling with the
Okay.
right ideas. Sí, Diana.
Okay, I will try one. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mi hija intenta levantarse más temprano.
Eso es difícil, sí. Bueno, y Karen.
Okay, trato de hablar con el hombre que me corta el césped.
El hombre que
Pues,
corta el césped.
Yeah.
Bien, sí.
Césped.
Excelente. Para darle instrucciones, sí, algo así. Bien, perfecto. These are exactly what I hoped you were going to practice with. Okay. Bien, ¿qué más? ¿Qué más?
Intente cocinar una nueva receta para mis amigos.
Bien, exacto. Fantástico. Muy bien. Hay otra pregunta o otro ejemplo. Hay otro ejemplo. Any other example of that? ¿Sí o no? ¿No? ¿Entienden? No. Sí, Cindy.
Are we doing yo or anything.
No importa, doesn't matter. No importa.
Mi esposo intenta ayudar los inmigrantes de Afganistán.
Okay.
Ah,
Muy
ah.
bien.
Perfecto.
Buen ejemplo. Sí. Exacto. Ok. Ok. Otro ejemplo. Una amiga mía, a friend of mine, the mía is of mine. Una amiga mía trata de montar en bicicleta de montaña. A friend of mine is learning to mountain bike. Ella sí trata de montar en bicicleta de montaña. Exacto, sí. Bueno, ok. Sí, Diana.
Mi amiga, Mia, no de Mia? There's
No, una amiga mía, a friend of mine, but you don't need an of.
Okay,
Una amiga mía, ¿sí?
okay.
That's
Ah,
what I say. Una amiga mía.
sí, es lo mismo a mi amiga, my friend. But if I want to say a friend of mine, una amiga mía.
Okay.
And we never say a de mía.
Okay.
Es solamente mía. Una amiga mía, ¿sí? Un vecino mío, a neighbor of mine. Sí. That gets a little longer, possessive. Sí. Un vecino mío, a neighbor of mine. Un pariente mío, a relative of mine. Sí. Es así. Ok. Bueno, entonces, bastante fácil, pretty easy, right? Because
Yeah.
with intentar, regular verb, tratar, regular verb, we just need to remember that tratar
Yeah.
de needs that little word de. Now, why is that important? It's important because tratar morphs into little different things without that word de. Tratar without the word de means to treat somebody. Oh, okay. Un ejemplo. Un ejemplo. Yo trato muy bien a mis mascotas. I treat my pets really well. Trato muy bien a mis mascotas. ¿Sí? I treat my pets well. Por ejemplo, Anita no trata bien a su novio. Anita does not treat her boyfriend well. Anita no trata bien. Anita trata muy mal a su novio. Anita treats him really badly. So tratar without de means you're treating. So it can even mean a doctor treating somebody. Por ejemplo, el médico trata a mi suegra porque tiene problemas con los ojos. A doctor is treating my mother-in-law because she's got problems with her eyes. El médico trata a mi suegra porque ella tiene problemas con los ojos. Okay? Okay, so tratar without that word de morphs into the idea of to treat somebody in a certain way or to treat them for something. Okay? Not to treat like I give them a goodie to eat. Not that kind of treat, right? Think of all the ways we use treat. Yeah. The context is always king. So, ¿por qué es importante? Why is this important? Well, I'm willing to bet in a conversation, you're more likely to talk about what you're trying to do than how somebody is treating somebody else. I mean, good for you to know, but you're probably more likely to use conversationally, I'm trying to do something, right? In that way. So you need to remember that little word de, all right? Because otherwise it will confuse people a little bit. trato de estudiar. I'm trying to study. Trato de usar la cámara de mi computadora, pero no funciona. I'm trying to use that camera on my computer, but it's not working. Algo así, something like that. Okay, bien? So,
Is there any reason at all to distinct or to choose one over the other between tratar de and intentar?
intentar and tratar de, no hay ninguna diferencia. There's no difference. No hay diferencia. Son equivalentes. They're equivalent. So people will use one or the other depending on just what they feel like. Right?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around, say trata day. How does that equate with try? I guess.
Oh, it
the book
does.
is trying
No.
to convey something or other.
Se trata de. Now, so when you morph from trato de, it means somebody's trying, but se trata de means something is about.
Yeah. It's a,
Why do they do that?
Thing.
Don't know.
okay.
Okay.
Because they do. Yeah. But a lot of times, again, conversationally, we might talk about,
No, it's a good thing to
la
know.
la Casa del Dragón, the House of the Dragon, and HBO, La Casa del Dragón, una nueva serie, a new series, se trata de la fantasía. It's a fantasy show. Se trata de la fantasía. It's a fantasy show. ¿Sí?
Sí.
Bien. O, por ejemplo, la serie, the series, la serie Columbo, se trata de un detective. It's about a detective.
Sure.
Así. Yeah. So look at all these little things that morph around with that little word trata. Yeah. Se trata de, it's about. Sure, it isn't like el médico trata a mi suegra, the doctor treats my mother-in-law. Boy, those two ideas are not alike, are they? So se trata de is about. When I tell the topic of a book, a movie, a TV show, right? Se trata de. But just trata, treat. But trato de aprender más vocabulario. I'm trying to learn more. Yeah. So all these way things, the way that things morph, and we're gonna, I think, use that as kind of a little bit of a theme through many of our practices come September, because this happens quite a lot. And, you know, and the more videos you hear, you'll hear people using that, but you kind of have to see the context of it. See?
Bien.
Okay, so let's take another quick look. We're going to try our second thing. A menos que, unless, a menos que haya otra pregunta, unless there's another question. No? Okay,
No.
we're going to take a look at that probar piece, that little probar thing. Bien. Okay. Now we're going to look at probar, because our next question, the second one I had asked you to think about, was to talk about what food you like to try, or what food you do try, and what food you will not try under any circumstances whatsoever. Okay. And for this, we cannot use tratar de or intentar. When you say you're trying out food, you know, you will taste it, you will try it, you will sample it. Yeah. There we need to use a different verb, and that other verb is probar.
Yeah.
Probar, unlike tratar, unlike intentar, is irregular. It is a stem changing verb. And that means that the O in probar needs to change into a UE. Okay. Entonces, vamos a ver. We're going to take a look at how how we use this probar verb, okay? So that you feel comfortable using it. Pruebo, la forma para yo, ¿sí? Pruebas, you are trying something. Prueba, la forma de él, ella, usted. Prueban, they are trying, okay? And with all stem changing verbs, things that are outside that shoe, outside that boot, go back to the original o in probar. Entonces, nosotros probamos. ¿Sí? Probamos. Okay, por ejemplo. Wow, I don't need any funny little prepositions. Yeah, it's just probar and whatever thing it is you're sampling. Okay. Okay. Por ejemplo, mis sobrinos, my nieces and nephews, mis sobrinos, my nieces and nephews, no prueban muchas legumbres. My nieces and nephews don't try a lot of veggies. No prueban muchas legumbres. Oh, por ejemplo, Camila es vegana. Camila is
Vegetarian.
vegan. Ooh. Sí, Camila es vegana. No prueba ningún producto que viene de animales. She doesn't taste, sample, try out any product that comes from an animal. Camila es vegana, no prueba ningún producto que viene de animales. She doesn't try anything that comes from an animal. She doesn't taste anything that comes from an animal. Bien? ¿Sí?
Sí.
I could, para que sepan, so you know, it would be very natural to combine this verb probar with something like quiero, I want to, or maybe even quisiera, because that question came up. Okay, so I could combine it with quiero probar, quiero probar las tapas de este restaurante. I want to try the tapas in this restaurant. Quiero probar las tapas de este restaurante. Bien? Let's see. And if I do that, I want to try quiero probar. I conjugate quiero, but not the probar, right?
Would it be the same to say, I like to try me gusto probar?
As in you have the desire to?
Well, I like to.
Okay, I like to, meaning I do this a lot. I like to try different things. Como se dice, I like to try different things. That's my habit. That's how I roll, right? I do this a lot. Me gusta probar muchos tipos de comida. Me gusta probar muchos tipos de comida. I like to try a lot of different types of foods. ¿Sí? Bien? But how about if you want to morph that into I would like to try? Like now I'm sitting in the restaurant and I'm asking a waiter, okay? Because this question came up earlier, let's see how that looks. All you need is the I would like verb. And this expresses a a polite request.
Quisiera.
Quisiera, exacto. Es quisiera. So if you want to say like, but you mean would like, as in you're asking for something, right? In a very polite setting, it would be quisiera. And by the way, you could use or omit the yo. Quisiera, quisiera probar este plato. I would like to try this dish. Quisiera probar este plato.
The
Okay.
other one with me gusta is more like I enjoy trying.
Eso es, sí, I enjoy, I like doing this, right? Me gusta probar is I like trying out different types of food. Meaning it's a habit I have, right? I like doing that. In a lot of situations, I like doing that, right? But it does not mean I would like.
Right.
Me gusta does not mean I would like. The I would like is quisiera probar. See? And the difference is, do you mean it as a request because you're asking a waiter to bring that out? Or do you just say, oh, I like doing this, as in, hey, it's okay if you take me to some unusual restaurant because I like eating that. Yeah, see? Me gusta talks about your preferences, right? What you enjoy. And quisiera with that turns it into a polite request because you're asking somebody to bring something. Bien? Does that make that clear? See?
Yes.
And you can use probar in any of those combinations depending on what you mean. Okay, Carrie?
I think it, Google Translate said, me gustaría, it added, and just instead of me gusta, it said me gustaría. Me
Okay.
gustaría. Why?
Carrie, this is a good question. Oh, it truly is a good question. So okay. So why are we talking about this? Because what you mean dictates which one of these words you will use. Quiero probar just means what I want to do, right? Me gusta probar means I like doing this as a general rule, right? Quisiera probar means I would like to do this because it's a polite request. Okay, it's a polite request. There is another phrase, and translation thing will split this out. And it is not exactly me gusta, it's me gustaría. And they're going to tell you that means I would like, and it does. Wait a minute. How is that different than I would like this? Actually, quite different. Oh, let's see how. Wait a minute. Me gustaría does mean I would like. Well, then why do we have me gustaría and quisiera probar? Okay. Me gustaría probar would mean I would like to try, but you're not asking somebody to bring it to you. You're just saying what you would enjoy. But it's not really a request. You know,
I would like to skydive someday.
I would like to go to Africa.
Yeah. Eso es. Yeah. I would like to skydive. See? I would like to scuba dive. Right? I would like to speak 2 more languages. ¿Sí? Me gustaría hablar más idiomas. I would like to speak more than one language. It's not a request to somebody. It's just saying what you would like to do. We use me gustaría always combined with a second verb, an infinitive of some kind. Me gustaría does indicate what you would like, but it is not a polite request. Right? If you are on vacation with your husband or your wife and you say, I would like to scuba dive, it's not a polite request. It's just expressing what you would like to do, what you would enjoy. So know that me gustaría hablar más idiomas indicates, yeah, what you would enjoy doing, what you would have a good. We do not use me gustaría for a polite request. So, por ejemplo, okay, let's take the probar, the taste out. You walk into a restaurant and you say, I would like mole. I would like chicken with mole. All right. You want that particular dish. If you're asking a waiter for that, it's quisiera el pollo con mole. Because you're asking somebody to bring that to you, right? But you would not say, me gustaría el pollo con mole. Okay. Me gustaría is combined with a second verb. It is not combined with a thing.
So what's the difference between me gusta and me gustaría?
Me gustaría is I would like,
Okay.
if I had the chance. Right? I
Or you
would
could ask
like.
a little kid what they're
But
gonna
me
be.
gustaría is combined with a verb. Okay, so here's how you will hear me gustaría. Me gustaría ver un programa romántico. I would like to watch a romantic show. Me gustaría comer. Me gustaría comer puerco asado, roast pork. I would like to eat roast pork. Me gustaría comer el puerco asado. I would like to eat roast pork. I would like to eat. Not I would like roast pork. I would like to eat roast pork. Me gustaría pintar las paredes en la casa. I would like to paint the walls inside the house. Me gustaría. I would like to do it. I'm not doing it right now. You're not saying I like painting. I have fun doing it. But I would like to do this. Me gustaría pintar las paredes en la casa. Sí, me gustaría adoptar un perrito. I would like to adopt a little dog.
Oh.
You haven't done it yet. You don't do it every day. You would like to if you had the chance. That's me gustaría. Bien? ¿Sí?
Bien.
Okay. So let's kind of get back to our probar. That's okay. Probar. probar. I would like you to use, if you want to keep it in its simplest form, which is great, just use these forms. Pruebo, what I try. Pruebas, what you try, right? Yeah, you are trying it. Prueba, some other person tries it. Probamos, we go back to the o, right? For nosotros. Prueban, they try. That is the simplest way for you to use this to say that you're trying out, meaning sampling, tasting, putting in your mouth some kind of food. Okay, see? Okay. I want you to talk about what food you often try, would like to try, right? Something like that. You could use the me gustaría, you can, but it's got to have an infinitive with it. So me gustaría probar, okay, would like versus, right? I like trying out, me gusta probar. I like trying out lots of different types of food. Does that clear that up a little bit? See? And you can use it in any of those combinations you want, but I want you to talk about a food you like to try, and a food that you don't try ever under any circumstances. Bien? And we're only doing those two. So you're only using probar in some way, but you can combine it in all those little different ways that we showed you. Okay? Bueno, ¿hay alguna pregunta? Any question about that before I send you off to do that a little bit?
No.
And then we'll come back and compare some notes. ¿Sí? Bien? 5 minutos. 5 minutes enough for that one question? ¿Sí? Bien? Okay. Vale. Magnífico. Otra vez, 5 minutos. My 5-minute button, mi botón de 5 minutos. Ok, bien. Okay, we're almost at the end point there. We're going to close that down, bring people back. Okay. Aquí vienen. Here come half of you. Okay. Aquí vienen todos. Here comes everybody. Pronto, soon.
Marilyn,
Hello.
one question that just came up, which is sort of, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but can you confirm that you did say you would do that advanced session again, starting, in a couple of weeks? Will it continue to be on Wednesdays from 10 to 11:30?
Yes, because Tuesday I'm going to have a separate class running for people who are absolute beginners. So I will not be able to plug that in Tuesday morning, but I can keep that going Wednesday. Sí, eso es, sí. Exacto. Ok, bien. Bien, ok. Bueno, algunos ejemplos. Sí. Some examples on what you would sample, what you don't want to sample ever.
No pruebo cerdo crudo.
Ah,
Cerdo crudo.
crudo, raw.
Oh, crudo.
Ah,
Está pesado.
Nunca pruebo la mayoría de los quesos.
bien.
You don't eat most cheeses? Is that what you
What
said?
you saying? What are you saying?
I think so.
You have to tell me. I don't know what you're saying. Okay. Creative. Huh. Ooh.
No priedo jalapeno.
Jalapeño,
Oh,
ok,
jalapeño.
sí, eso es.
That.
No,
Jalapeño, Chile.
Yeah.
Nunca pruebo carne porque soy vegetariano.
Bien,
Is that,
Sí.
you say soy vegetariano?
soy vegetariana.
Oh, soy vegetariana.
Sí, vegetariana es vegetarian, vegana es vegan. Son,
Okay.
son dos, sí. Un vegano, a vegan, es una persona más estricta ¿sí? con el tipo de comida, ¿sí? Eso es, ¿ok? Vale. Mi esposo no prueba recetas o platos con zanahorias. Zanahorias son carrots. Porque sí, tiene alergias con las zanahorias.
Zanahorias.
Bien.
Raro.
Es muy raro, ¿no? Sí, creo que es muy raro. Sí. Con zanahorias. ¿Por qué? Pero sí. Ok.
Yo no pruebo insectos.
Hay ciertas culturas, existen, ¿sí? Ciertas culturas que tienen insectos como algo de comer, ¿no? Sí, eso sí ocurre. Yo tampoco. Okay. No quiero probar, no me gustaría probar insectos. Ok, otros ejemplos.
No pruebo comida que mi amiga preparar.
Oh.
Preparar.
Ah,
Oh.
No, es bueno.
Ah,
Uh-oh.
sí. Bueno, mi hijo no prueba el sushi nunca.
Oh, so never.
Me encanta el sushi. A mi hija le encanta el sushi, pero a él no le gusta para nada. Entonces, él no prueba el sushi nunca. Bien. Ok, otros ejemplos. No, nada. Okay. Entienden un poquito mejor. Do you understand a little bit more these different verbs we'll use to say try? See?
Right.
See? Okay. Vale. Bueno. Okay. I want to, I think we have just about exactly enough time. I want to tie up with a little bow, a little exclamation point to this whole thing about alguno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not so much, I think, about the forms, because I think you get the forms, right?
Sí.
Algún just drops the O if I pair it up with a masculine singular noun, right? Como, por ejemplo, algún ratón, some mouse. See? Busco algún ratón. I'm looking for some mouse. I don't really know what type, but some kind. Okay? Bien, bien. Okay. Bien. Algún, alguna, algunos, algunas, and they can be used to say or some. You will hear them a lot. You've heard them in context, but there is something I would like to show you, and we're only going to take a portion of this video because it's really not necessary to kind of get into the banter that, well, they enjoy the banter because they're married, so that's fine, but we don't really need to spend our time on that. They've got an example. Ooh, and okay. They've got an example. Why do we need two words that say some? What the heck? If un means and algún means any or some, and especially with unos and algunos, which both mean some. Why? Why do we have two words? And this lady is going to explain a little bit of why. And then we're going to show you a second set of videos that shows examples of when we use it. Okay, so some long examples. So one is just going to give you for about 2 or 3 minutes, for maybe 4 minutes max, like an explanation. And then we're going to see a different video that has some very good examples, but I'm going mid-video because there's some chit chat in between that. So that opens it up. So when you hear somebody asking, is there, are there any questions? It's always going to be, ¿hay alguna pregunta? Right? It's always going to be that, because we're asking for not any one in particular, but some kind of question. Okay. Okay. So we've got that. Y entonces, ay, ¿dónde están? Aquí están. Here are my other examples. Okay. Otros ejemplos. Now we're going to see some sentences, and some of them I may have to stop these a little bit because they may get a little bit, some of these get to be longer examples, some not so long. We'll see where we need to stop it here. Also, they're going to explain a little bit about when we insert de. And all the de is going to mean is of, like you think it should. Some of. Algunos de ustedes tienen preguntas. Some of you guys have questions. ¿Sí? Algunos de mis estudiantes son principiantes. Some of my students are beginners. Algunos de mis estudiantes son avanzados. Some of my students are advanced. Some of, algunos de. But they'll show you some context, contextual uses of these words, which, you know, that's always the key that is super helpful. And again, we're only going to watch a part of this, the part that I think is helpful for you. Don't worry about, oh, wait, I kind of know what that means. It's a past tense. That's all you need to know. Okay. Algunos de sus documentos, some of its documents. Algunos de sus documentos. Okay. So some of will be algunos de, always algunos de. Bien?
Okay, guys, so be careful when you contrast with others. Why? Because even though in English,
Oh, and now they're going to get into others, and that's another can of worms we're not going to open today. But so that you see some examples of how we use algunos de, some of, algunos de, ¿sí? Algunos de mis estudiantes están confundidos. Some of my students are confused. Algunos de mis estudiantes, sí, entienden perfectamente. Pues sí, algunos de mis vecinos son muy buenos. Some of my neighbors are very good. Algunos de mis vecinos son ruidosos. Some of my neighbors are noisy. Bien. So, algunos de. Bien. Algunas, algunos, alguna can mean any at all, right? It can mean some of, but sometimes we use unos also for approximations. Bien. Okay. Vale. When I send you the email with those links, if you want to watch them and listen to them again, because they speak at a natural pace. They're actually talking kind of slowly, moderately. But when you listen again, please look at the time marks, because the very first part of that video, they start talking about another slang word for beers. Well, maybe you want to know that chela is a beer. If you really want to know other slang words for beer, listen to the first half of it. But I'll give you the timestamps that show you just those examples so that you know when to start the video and where you can end it. See? Okay? So that helps you with a little of that. I was hoping to get a little more of our present perfect, but we'll jump into that next in September. In September, we're going to pick up with that. We're going to talk about in September what you have done at some time. Alguna vez. At some time. What have you done at some time? That's where we'll pick up. We're going to pick up in September with how we talk about what's going on right now, what might happen kind of soon, or what you have done at some time. And the way we often express this idea of at some time is alguna vez, sometime, meaning not necessarily just this many times, only one, right? Una vez is once. Once, one time only, right? This gives you a very clear idea of what that difference is between saying una vez es muy específico. It's very specific, see? Una vez means once, one time only, but alguna vez, at some time. So when we want to ask, have you ever climbed a tree? Have you ever had a flat tire? Yeah. Have you ever fixed your garage door? No.
Yeah.
At any time, alguna vez. Bien? And we'll pick up with that. Sí, está bien. And we'll work a little more with how you flip that from right now to at some time have you, and how we kind of negotiate maybe some of our time markers a little bit more. ¿Está bien? Good?
Está bien.
Está bien.
Excelente. Tenemos un descanso. We have a rest coming up here. We have a rest for about a week and a half. And then I will be seeing you. Wow, it is not next Monday, because next Monday is Labor Day officially. So we do not have class on the 5th. El 5, no. Pero el 12, sí. On the 12th. So we will start back up on the 12th. ¿Está bien?
Fantastic.
Bien, gracias.
Excelente, excelente. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
all of you. See,
Thank
ustedes
Thank
son
you.
muy amables. You guys are really sweet. And it has been a lot of fun this summer. Okay? Bien?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Cuídense
Muchas
mucho.
gracias.
De nada.
Muchas gracias.
De nada. Es un placer. Cuídense mucho.
Hasta luego. Chao.
Hasta luego. Sí, nos vemos.